Many times our feelings has not led us to places that has been worthy of us or places that serve us fully. Some of us are in relationships right now strictly because of our emotions. This relationship doesn't serve us. This relationship is not good for us. And our emotions has led us there. And it's funny to me that we are speaking about the law of emotion, because in the position in which I hold, being a pastor of the church, I have to always check my emotions. I cannot lead people according to my emotions, because my emotions have gotten me in some bad places and some tough places and in some rough situations. So I know that my emotions is not the director or the leader of my life. So I have to keep my emotions suppressed, and I have to look logically at situations. But emotions are funny. Here's why emotions are funny to me, and the reason I say emotions are funny, because you can have the emotions of being happy. You can have the emotions of love. You can have the emotions of success, and you are living in poverty, you are struggling, and you are robbing Peter to pay Paul. Your emotions will definitely lie to you if you're not in control of your emotions. So always stay on top of your emotions, and always remember that your emotions will lead you to a bad place if you don't be honest with yourself about the real emotions that you are actually experiencing.
The law of emotion says that human beings are 100% emotional. I'm chuckling because I can hear people say, well, I'm not an emotional person. But have you heard them say that sentence? I'm not an emotional person. They are full of emotions when they say, I am not an emotional person. So the next time someone tells you that, tell them that they're lying. Don't even finish that sentence. You are emotional because you are a human being. That is part of our DNA. That's part of what makes us humans. You are emotional about not being emotional, okay? You are emotional about life. You're emotional about everything, actually. We hear emotional, or we hear the word emotions, and we think sadness, we think depression, we think spiraling out of control, but that is just what society has put out there. That's not what emotions are. So if you ever feel happy or sad or excited or calm or good or I'm chilling, you have emotions. You are an emotional person. So how do you master your emotions? You pay attention to them, number one. Emotions are a word for feelings, and feelings is another word for vibration. Our emotions alert us on what we are vibrating at, what frequency we're on.
Thoughts plus emotion equals creation.
So say you wake up in the morning and you're immediately in a bad mood. You should pay attention and know that you are vibrating at something that is not serving you. What happens is people wake up in a bad mood, they get out of bed in a bad mood, they get dressed in a bad mood, they eat breakfast in a bad mood, they drive in their car or go to work in a bad mood, they work in a bad mood, they come home in a bad mood, and they say, I woke up in a bad mood and now my day is much worse than what it was at first. It's because you chose not to change that vibration. You chose to stay in it. And since you're staying in that vibration, you can only bring more to you of that vibration.
There's another thing about emotion. Emotion is actually just energy.
Life is going to have you feeling all kinds of things. You're going to get sad. You're going to feel embarrassed at times. You're going to get disappointed. That's okay. Just allow those feelings to be what they are without intensifying them, without exaggerating them, because that's how we fall off. That's how we stay stuck in a dark place. It's okay to be sad. Life is going to throw you some curveballs to where you're sad. You're going to get sad. Unfortunately, you're going to feel embarrassed about something. Unfortunately, you're going to be disappointed one day. That's okay. What's not okay is to allow, what's not okay is to stay feeling that way. Just allow yourself to be sad for a moment. Allow yourself to be embarrassed. It'll go away. Allow yourself to be disappointed in something. By just allowing your emotions to just be emotions, that's okay. We need emotions. Emotions is what makes us know that we're alive.
Human beings are 100% emotional, period. Anyone that tells you that they're not an emotional person, they just don't have emotion, everyone has emotion. It's what we use to make decisions. It's what we use to determine how we feel. 100%, 100%, that's a lot. That's totality. So when it comes to the law of emotion, you have to realize that emotional intelligence matters just as much as intellectual intelligence. You cannot be high in IQ and low in EQ and receive prosperity. You have to be emotionally intelligent enough to realize that the emotions are going to come. What matters and what will help you achieve a state of happiness is how you react or respond to the emotion. Example, if a family member passes away, you're not going to tell yourself, don't be sad, don't cry, don't grieve. Those are emotions that are going to come. But if in your sadness and if in your grief, you decide that you want to do something detrimental to yourself, or you want to do something detrimental to someone else, that is not the proper reaction to the emotion if you intend to be a happy person. If we are going to be happy, we have to be mindful of the way that we respond to emotion, because the emotion is going to happen. If someone can come in here, someone can do something to my child, and I'm going to tell you that if it's bad enough, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be upset. There's no way that I can deny that to myself. As human beings, we focus too much on denying ourselves of emotion instead of doing the work to control our reaction or our response to emotion. So I can be angry for something that you did to my child, but I'm not going to come and do anything to your child. I'm not going to say anything disparaging to you. I am going to do my technique to turn my anger into abundance, to allow the anger not to knock me out of alignment. That is how I respond to emotion. That is how you have to learn how to respond to emotion if you intend to be happy. Your emotions should not control your happiness. Your emotion should not control your state of happiness. You ought to be able to be frustrated. You ought to be able to be angry and still remain happy. Because happy is so much more than just an emotion. It's a state of being. I can be happy and sad. I can be happy and angry. I can be happy and overwhelmed. I can be happy and frustrated. Those feelings are going to come. The way you remove yourself off of the path of happiness is when you allow the domino effect of anger, arrogance, stagnation. You become stuck and stagnant in that emotion and you're no longer moving. The law of emotion is fluid. You have to keep moving. You can't allow your emotion to get you stuck. You have to use everything within you to remain who you are, to remain at the core of who you are. Nobody should be able to push buttons enough to make you be who you are not. But when we focus on the emotion, when we focus on the sadness or the anger or the frustration, instead of focusing on ourselves and the happiness, then we react instead of respond. Focus on responding to emotion and you will master the art of being happy.
If you're ever standing on the beach and you stand just at the edge where you think the water is not going to reach you, and then you stand there and then a wave comes and it almost comes to your toes. and the wave goes back out into the ocean, and another wave comes in, and oh my gosh, you have to back up because it almost touched your toes. So you back up again, and the next wave comes up and it crashes and it hits you, and you get your feet wet. Sometimes that's what emotions do. They come in waves. Just back up a little bit. Take a breath. Just allow that sadness just to be a sadness. Allow that disappointment to be exactly what it is, a disappointment. Allow that embarrassment just to be a little bit embarrassing. You'll recover. There's a lot of embarrassing things that I've done in my life. I don't even remember them.
You probably did something that you had no business doing, all because you chose not to master your emotions, all because you chose not to pause, recognize the emotion or the feeling or the vibration or frequency. All of that means the same thing in this instance. You chose not to check that, and you chose to live in it.
A lot of times we utilize our emotions to dictate and determine how far we want to go in life. Many times we utilize our emotions to keep us from our prosperity. It keeps us from our happiness. Why? Because we feel a certain type of way. And many times our feelings has not led us to places that has been worthy of us or places that serve us fully. Some of us are in relationships right now strictly because of our emotions. This relationship doesn't serve us. This relationship is not good for us. And our emotions has led us there. And it's funny to me that we are speaking about the law of emotion, because in the position in which I hold, being a pastor of the church, I have to always check my emotions. I cannot lead people according to my emotions, because my emotions have gotten me in some bad places and some tough places and in some rough situations.
You can master your emotions by simply changing your emotions. Someone makes you mad, that doesn't have to dictate your entire day. Someone hurts your feelings, that doesn't have to dictate your entire day. But it goes further than just days, because I know people who've been hurt years ago and they're still carrying that emotion and that vibration and that frequency into a new year, into a new decade, into a new century, because they chose not to change their emotions.
That anger that you're feeling, you're creating that over and over and over and over again. That sadness that you're feeling, you're creating that over and over and over again, to a point where you're actually going to solidify whatever it is you're sad about. If you fear him leaving you, if you fear her leaving you, you're stacking that energy on top of that energy on top of that energy on top of that energy, and that thought and that emotion combined is so strong that you actually create them walking out on you.
You ever been somewhere and you said, oh, I don't like his vibe. I don't like her vibe. That's vibration for short. Thinking, feeling, and deciding to be happy and grateful is a choice. You have to choose to be happy and grateful. It takes work. You don't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to be happy and grateful today, and then go about your day. You got to work at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot live a life worthy of you. You cannot be so happy and grateful if you're choosing to hold on to emotions that are not serving you. You cannot live a so happy and a so grateful life if you're holding on to pain that happened 10 years ago, that happened 10 minutes ago, because that's over now. You're living in the past and you are missing your present. Someone hurt you, I get it, I know, I've been there, but guess what? You're still alive. Someone died 10 minutes ago. Within that 10 minutes, someone died. Someone lost a job. Someone thought that they were about to have the best day of their life and they got a phone call that changed their entire world. But you are still living, ladies and gentlemen. Stop letting what other people do to you dictate how you live in your present, because your present is all that you have. And why would you waste 1 second in all that you have being upset or being too emotional about something that happened in the past? I have a gift of empathy, meaning I am able to walk into a room and feel what other people are feeling. The gift And the gift of empathy is I can feel what other people are feeling. I can feel their vibration. I can oftentimes think their thoughts before they're able to articulate it. And I can help them with their feelings or help guide them through something that they're going through. On the flip side of that same gift, I can feel what people are feeling. I can feel their thoughts. I can feel their vibration.